Preliminary advices and inappropriate credits. It is strongly recommended that the banks do not issue preliminary advice or do not issue inappropriate credits. What's the preliminary advice? Preliminary advice, earlier we used to have messages sent by banks under Swift 705 format, which will have very bare information. Amount is 100,000. This is applicant. This is the beneficiary. This is the goods. Full stop. No more information will be there. So they will not be knowing what are the terms and conditions to be met or what are the documents to be submitted. So beneficiary will not be able to make any shipment under that credit. But beneficiary only knows that they will be receiving something from this applicant. That's, or we have something called inoperative credit. Inoperative credit, the credit will say this credit is inoperative unless and until we receive a bond from the beneficiary of the credit, we receive a bond from the supplier, we receive a guarantee from the supplier, performance guarantee, things like that. So this will also say this will become effective only when issuing bank gives another amendment. So this will weaken the position of the beneficiary in another way by having conditions in which beneficiary has no control, which means applicant has to issue or countersign or endorse a particular document. So this is a applicant countersigning a document or endorsing a document, beneficiary has no control. So this is one way of making the credit inoperative. So if a bank is issuing a preliminary credit, the bank will have to immediately issue a workable credit also. Let us have a look at types of payment under the credit. Now under types of payment, the nominated bank may get reimbursed by debiting the account of the issuing bank. If the nominated bank and the issuing bank are having account relationship, the nominated bank may debit the account of the issuing bank. The nominated bank may claim reimbursement from a reimbursing bank. Nominated bank may claim reimbursement from the issuing bank if they don't have account relationship, or ask the issuing bank to credit the claiming bank's account with it, or make a remittance to it. So these are the ways in which the nominated bank can get their money in case they have honored or negotiated a credit complying presentation made to them. There has to be an authorization to honor or negotiate. This authorization to honor or negotiate is called nomination, and this nomination does not impose any obligation on the nominated bank, which means the bank to whom the nomination has been given by the issuing bank need not honor or need not negotiate until and unless to the extent that they expressly agree and so communicate to the beneficiary. So the words expressly agree and so communicate used by UCB is very important for the beneficiary, for them to know whether the bank is acting as per a nominated bank or not. So if they are not agreed and communicated, they may not examine the documents presented. They may just forward, and if they just forward, it is not called honor. And if it is not called honor, neither the nominated bank gets a benefit of the nomination, Article 12, nor the beneficiary gets the benefits of nomination. They have to depend on the issuing bank. What's a side payment? The LC is available by side payment, deferred payment, negotiation, or acceptance. So side payment, it is due once the nominated bank or the issuing bank confirms that the documents comply. So if they find a conforming document presented to them, they will have to make the side payment. What is deferred payment? A payment is not immediate, but only an undertaking to pay on a deferred date is taken now, and then after this undertaking is incurred or encountered by the bank, the bank will pay on a deferred date, on a future date. And date is determinable in terms of the credit, 60 days from shipment, like that. No draft is required under deferred payment credit, and liability of the nominated bank. Nominated bank is not liable. Nominated bank may incur a deferred payment undertaking and will pay only on due date. There is no further liability. And for the issuing bank, come what may, they will have to make the payment. The issuing bank authorizes the nominated bank to purchase or prepay. So whether it's a deferred payment credit or acceptance credit, the issuing bank authorizes the nominated bank to purchase or prepay the deferred payment undertaking incurred or the acceptance, the draft accepted. If the credit is available by acceptance, payment is not immediate but on the maturity date. Maturity date of what? Of the draft. How it is determined? As per the credit terms. 60 days from credit, 60 days from site, 90 days from the date of presentation, 90 days from acceptance, whatever the credit says. Issuing bank is authorizing the bank to purchase or prepay by making the nomination. A confirming bank undertakes to accept the draft not accepted by the nominated bank, and also to pay the draft accepted by the nominated bank but not paid by them. Also, if the nominated bank does not negotiate, confirming bank has to negotiate without recourse. If the nominated bank does not undertake a deferred payment undertaking or undertakes to pay on the deferred date but does not pay, then the confirming bank has to pay on the due date of such deferred payment undertakings. What is negotiation? It is purchase or prepay. Purchase or prepay of what? Of the drafts or documents. By whom? By the nominated bank. Of the drafts or documents drawn on whom? Drawn on a bank other than nominated bank. So it should be drawn on the issuing bank or confirming bank, and they can negotiate. Negotiate means what? To give value and become holder in due course. How they do it? By advancing or agreeing to advance funds, and when? On or before the due date. So if it is 60 days from shipment, up to 59th day, they can agree to advance funds, and then that will be called negotiation. What is honor? Honor is side payment, deferred payment, or acceptance. These three types are called honor, and the fourth is negotiation. Nomination does not obligate the nominated person to act. So they can say we are not willing to honor, we are not willing to act as per the nomination given in the documentary credit. Now let us turn our attention to assignment of proceeds. The beneficiary will ask the nominated bank or the issuing bank to reserve a part of the proceeds, maybe 100%, maybe 50%, whatever it is, reserve a part of the credits. And this part of the proceeds reserved will have to be paid to many times to the actual supplier, sometimes to the party who is willing to fund under the credit for making pre-shipment advances. So the bank will only acknowledge and will not give any further undertaking. What is that acknowledgement? Acknowledgement of assignment of proceeds. What it will say? It will say we have received a notice of assignment of proceeds. We have taken note of it and we will execute it if and when disposable funds are available. This is not an undertaking. This is only an acknowledgement of assignment of proceeds by the beneficiary. Amendments may affect the workability of the assignment, and the assignee has to be aware of this. Assignee has no promise of any payment. He is only getting a notice that payment may come to him if any payment is due to the beneficiary. Original DC will be annotated, and proceeds, if any, will be paid only if it is freely disposable. Suppose the nominated bank is some amount is due to the nominated bank. Nominated bank will take that amount. If further amount is available, that amount will be paid to the assignee, and it can be used many times as a security for refinancing. Many times when there is a red clause credit or a pre-shipment finance given, or when there is back-to-back credit, then assignment of proceeds will be called for by the bank. So this is some small note on the types of the credit, uses of credit, and other things. We shall turn our attention to the issuance of credit and other related matters in our next session.